Hi guys, have you ever wondered why you are feeling drained after you meet people, or why are you constantly being really triggered when you encounter a negative person? And you may ask, why some of your friends or people you know seems to be very happy, who seems to be unfazed by life's challenges and have the ability to sleep through any difficult conversations with ease, like what kind of superpower they have. Today I'm here to tell you that it's totally possible to transform yourself from a sensitive mess to somebody who seems to be very unbothered to people's energy or people's negativity, because I have done it myself. Like any of you, I used to be very sensitive. My emotions are always on the edge when I go out, and I was easily triggered by people. Like a little bit of negative interaction with somebody will make me overthink, will make me feel very sad or angry when I'm alone. But then I really master how to protect my own energy no matter what people do. And I got some methods that really game changer to my social life that helped me to go out there to connect to people and to enjoy my time with them without being moved or affected by their negative behaviors from time to time. So before, I was searching on Google about how to stop being so sensitive, and I was given a very surprising answer. And that's something that's called narcissistic perfectionism, and it gave me a very different point of view about myself and my sensitivity. And I will also read some signs of perfectionism to you, so if you can get anything from it. First is always seeking validation and approvals, constant need to be liked, high sensitivity to rejection and intense reaction to constructive criticisms. Dominating conversation and behaviors. It means that you expect people to change what they say or what they do to match with your opinion or your point of view. Lack of empathy, difficulty understanding the motives behind people's reaction. Extreme binary mindset. It means that for you, if it's not right, it's totally wrong. And why do I mention about this? Because it really changed my mindset about how I accept negativity. Being highly sensitive is both a blessing and a curse. So it's a blessing because it helps you to be very attentive to details and small trends in people's behavior, and it helps you to adapt your energy to match with their response or match with what they are willing to take from this interaction. But it also occurs because sometimes their negativity is also come into your attention. How to start being cursed is simply to accept life as it is. It won't be perfect as you want, and check yourself among these sides of perfectionism and try to minimize it. Are you constantly want to be liked, want to be admired, and you feel really bad when somebody gives you a little bit of advice or criticism? Or how do you feel when somebody talk about something and you don't really agree with it? Do you judge them harshly for just speaking up their opinion, and you want them to change their mind by applying what you think into that situation, and feel very angry when they don't think the same as you? We all got these emotions before, and when you look instead into what you can control and what you cannot control, life is much easier. For example, one day I met my friend and she gave me one of the bad news about the economy and how we are potentially losing our jobs. And that's not really what I want to hear. But when I look at what I can and cannot control, is I cannot control what she think. I cannot say that what she think is wrong, but I can control instead is my reaction to this kind of information. And I remember people's brain have an easy time adapting a yes more than a no. So instead of wasting my time to fight back to her and try to change her mind, I just simply say that how about some positive things that you have lately that you can share with me, and then we can shift that conversation to something more positive. I realize it's really important to make sure that you are independent within these three areas. First is finance, second is location, and last is emotional independence. For example, one day your boss asks you to come over and take care of her daughter for several hours so that she can enjoy a wedding of her friends. And it's not really professional and it's not relating to your job, but you cannot do anything because you are scared that she will fire you and she's the only source of income that you have. You don't have any financial independence. All of your money depends on one job and one person. Or for example, one day I was in a class with a classmate who is really bitter after she had a fight with me, and for like 2-3 hours she keeps roasting me when she talks to other people or when she asks the teachers about some question, and that question turns back into mocking me, and I cannot go away because I have to attend the class. Or I remember when I was young, all of my self-worth and self-values depends on people's compliments about me. So if people give me good compliments, I will feel very high. I will feel very good about myself. But if I was criticized, I also feel really, really bad. I just trust everything that people tell me without realizing that sometimes people criticize me. It also comes from a form of projection or jealousy. So when you have financial, location, and emotional independence, it's like you have a house, right? Location, and you have money to take care of yourself, and you can make yourself happy when you are alone in that house. So whatever people do after that is like when you are in that house and there's a guest knocking on the door. So if they are cute, they are gentle and nice, of course you can invite them in, right? But if they do something negative or they try to come and take something from your house, just imagine that there's a door and you just don't invite them in. Besides working on yourself, your own emotion, another way to protect your energy when you socialize is to give people less opportunities to trigger you by giving them less information. When people don't really know about how you feel about yourself, how you view the world, it's not easy for them to change that because they literally don't have any information to relate to. For this, I will introduce to you a technique that's called the Match Plus One technique from Radically Open Dialectical Behavioral Therapy, RODBT. So RODBT is developed for people who have bipolar disorder, chronic depression, extreme perfectionism, and high anxiety to approach socializing with a low risk of oversharing and feeling rejected or abandoned when their energy is not reciprocated. So I found this technique extremely beneficial for me before. And if you are somebody who found yourself constantly overshare and being too vulnerable with people, and found yourself that they don't respond in the same way, or you are always the person who invests too much or sacrifice too much in a relationship or a friendship, this can probably work for you. So the match plus one technique is simply we have 10 level of intimacy. I will go through with you to this technique, and I will put the link to the worksheet below. So actually this technique is simply a combination of activities such as sharing certain information when you first meet somebody and wait for how they respond and feedbacks to that information before you share something too personal or vulnerable. And there are 10 levels of this technique. So simply if they respond when you try to push and open up, you will plus one into that interaction. And if they don't respond or reciprocate in the same way, you minus 1 point, one level out of this scale. For example, when you meet somebody at a networking event, so they are totally somebody new and you don't really know them, so you can start with some very on the surface level information like the weather, the traffic of that day, the service of the restaurant, some opinion about very like general topics. And most of the time it's easily past this level because it's very basic information. And if you see that person respond to you and are interested in that conversation, you can move them to the next level called level 3 or 4, where you can share a little bit deeper about your opinions, your personal goals and values on certain socially acceptable topics. And then you can move that conversation up or down through the scales. And usually, for example, level 5 or 6, I think it's better when I meet that people several times or they become like somebody I really know, become my friends. And level 8, level 9, 10 is for somebody who is close to me for years. And actually, an interesting thing is that I don't find my parents on level 10 where I can express intense feelings and vulnerable emotions, because actually I wasn't respond to share that emotion. It's usually stop at level 9, and then sometimes I was feeling judged, so that I won't move them to level 10. But somehow I found my best friend on that level, because there are times I share many deep and dark emotions with her and feel reciprocated and accepted. So don't feel shame if somebody who really close to you are not on the deep level. When I first know about this technique, I realized most of the time I was giving the wrong information at the wrong situation. And for example, you may see sometimes we share about our financial or our income on social media. So I don't really trust that because I did that somewhere before, but I want to shift the attention to it. Like whatever you share on social media, be prepared that one day this information will have the possibility to be the things that people use against you. Or usually, what do they say? Loose lips, shin shapes, right? This is my favorite part, approach socializing like you are playing. For example, if you want to go to watch a movie or go to amusement park, of course you won't expect that after that experience you will be richer, you will be more confident, right? You just go there because you want to chill out, you want to enjoy your time, and you are curious about maybe that movie or that game you found in the amusement park. So also go out and approach people with that mindset. Don't expect anything from them. Don't expect them to like you or to give you anything, or to, for example, give you validation or opportunities or anything. Just go there simply because you are generally curious about them, and you just want to chill out and enjoy your time with people. Playfulness is also how you approach and respond to unwanted and difficult conversations. So it's like you look at it with the mindset of a child, you joke with it, you play with it instead of taking it really personally. For example, if somebody tells you that your tummy is getting bigger, or maybe you are getting fat, so instead of getting so triggered at them, like why you say that or something, it just shows that they are having power over you, right? So instead use playfulness to respond to them. Like most of the time what I did is I compliment their belly back, like I will say that, oh, your belly is very flat and very toned, very fit. But most of the time it's not really the case, because sometimes when people body shame me, it's not actually because they have the best body. Another way is when somebody did you wrong and they keep blaming you and they tell that it's your fault. Don't try to deny it, because that's their objective, right? So instead just respond in a very gentle way that you accept their skills session, and you genuinely hope that they feel better at the position of a victim. Personally, I found that's the best way to deal with people who try to attack me in the past. I try many ways. I try to tell them what they say are wrong, but it never works, or they never change. So sometimes I just respond in a way that make me feel enjoyable in that interaction. And I think that's everything I want to share on how to protect yourself and adjust yourself in social life when you are really sensitive. I don't think it's a bad trait. It's just you need some adjustment, and you need to know how to process the negativity and only accept the positivity of this trait. If you find my content useful, don't forget to give me a like and subscribe to my channel as usual, so that you can see more of my future content. Thank you.